Hi, I'm Tony, the Polymerization King, and here on Polymerization PLace, I'm going to teach you one of the best polymerization reactions there are, polytetrafluoroethylene. Now, let's take a frying pan and go into the fire. Now, before we start with the cooking, we gotta show some of the steps first. So let's go to the paper. Okay, so you start off with the radical and tetrafluoroethylene, okay? Now tetrafluoroethylene has a double bond in between the two carbons. Now what happens? One electron jumps over to the radical and creates a bond with the carbon and the radical. Now one electron is left over, that jumps over to the other carbon. Now what happens is that Tony makes that happen, okay? And the radical, it sticks to the carbon. And you got one lone electron on the carbon, on the other carbon. Now, if you go down to the other line, now you start off with that, and look at that lone electron there, okay? Now, what happens is that connects, that causes reaction within the next carbon of another tetrafluoroethylene molecule, and that creates a bond which then takes away the double bond again, and it's like a chain reaction over and over n number of times, and that's the main formula, and it only ends when the two different chains of radicals connect, and those two electrons are canceled, those single electrons are canceled out, and it causes a full chain. Now, because this is a reaction, we gotta put some safety gear on. And you, don't be stupid, you gotta put the gear on. Now, first of all, take off your glasses. Now, you're gonna need some eye protection, because that's what you need. So, put some goggles on, nice and tight, Then, for style, you gotta put this on. Now, you gotta have some skin protection, because, this stuff can be dangerous, and I don't know what it does to your skin. So, we're gonna put this on. And now you gotta first of all zip it up. You can't be stupid, okay? So you gotta, I can't do this. So zipping it up, and now you get your pan. Now make sure it's hot, because without the heat, the reaction is not gonna happen. So first of all, we're gonna get tetrafluoroethylene. Now that's a gas. You can't really put it in a pan, okay? So, but I'm gonna try anyways. So here's our gas, okay? And bam, into the pot. Okay, it's gonna stay there. It's gonna cook for a bit. Now. We got some radical here. Now we're gonna combine this in a pressure cooker, okay? Gotta have pressure for this reaction to happen. So you pour it in, then you get this radical, and bam, okay? You gotta put it in there and just close the lid, leave it there. You gotta be 200 centigrade for with 2,000 pressure, okay? And then you just leave it there, make sure it happens. And then when the reaction's done, you'll know, you'll smell it. It's just an amazing smell. And then you take it out right there, and you got your Teflon. Now you gotta make sure it cools down, obviously, because you're gonna burn your hands. You don't want to burn your hands. So you turn off the heat, and you just leave the kitchen. You can't do anything after. You gotta wait for it to cool down. And you can take off your safety gear, because you're not gonna be touching it. You're gonna get someone else to do that. That's like the poor man's job. There you go, okay? Now we're done with our reaction. Now you've got some polytetrafluoroethylene. Now that's some good stuff. You could use that for pots and pans, frying pans. This probably has some polytetrafluoroethylene on it. And once you get that, there's not much else you need to do. You just throw it on some stuff, put it in your dinner. You probably shouldn't, because it's probably not gonna do stuff. Now there's some environmental aspects that I don't know about, so I'm gonna talk to you afterwards, okay? I'll be right back. I'm back. It's Tony, Polymerization PLace. You got it. Okay, now while you were gone, I went on the Googles, to look up Teflon, see what happens to the environment. And I swear to God I didn't know this before, but it can cause some slight effects to the environment. So when Teflon is heated up in your frying pan, when you're cooking, it can create some trifluoroacetic acid, which goes into the ozone layer, okay? Now that's not very good for the ozone layer. So that causes ozone holes, global warming. It causes global warming. It's the cause for global Now, there's some social effects. You know, you don't want a frying pan that's gonna stick. You know, you're cooking some eggs, you don't want it to stick. That's why you got Teflon. It's got those fluorines. Okay, nothing sticks to fluorine, nothing. No one wants to be with fluorine. I don't know, he's a nice guy. I don't know what to say anymore. So I think we're done here at Polymerization PLace. I'll see you guys next time when I'm doing a different polymerization reaction. I don't know, I haven't picked which one. I'm not very planning, okay? So I'll see you guys later. Polymerization out.